All right, I wasn't even sure whether to do this segment, and I'm going to do it because I think it's necessary, and we've gotten to a point where we have to talk about what is wrong with the Democratic Party. And it's not really the policies. It's not that Democrats have lost their values. It's that Democrats are flying blind to a great degree. Strategy, message, idea of how to win people over who aren't already on their side. I'm just not seeing it. And of course, I still consider myself a progressive. This is not like I've been red pilled. I've seen the light. I'm leaving the left. This is nothing like that. I believe that progressive values are the best shot that we've got. But I've spent the last 6 months speaking directly with dozens of elected Democrats. I'm as alarmed as I've ever been. So let's rewind a little bit. After Kamala Harris lost to Donald Trump in 2024, I got invited to the Biden White House. A bunch of us progressive content creators sat down with staff and also with President Biden himself to talk a little bit about what went wrong. And what I said to their faces and what I've said publicly for years, the thing was sort of nominally off the record, but I've been saying the same thing for a long time. It's not a secret. Number one, Democrats don't get independent media. They don't know how to work with us or how to help build an ecosystem that Republicans have been able to build in which they're absolutely dominating. That's number one. And to their credit, something did change. More Democrats reach out. More Democrats are showing up on this show and on other independent progressive media shows. And for a moment, I thought they're starting to get it. Something is changing here. But the other thing that's happened over the last half year, as I've interviewed dozens of Democratic elected officials, senators, governors, and members of the House, is that there's really no plan, unifying strategy, or anything beyond Trump bad, we're better. And when I push them politely, respectfully, they often recoil. I'll ask follow-ups. I'll try to get clarity. And suddenly I'm the problem. Like I'm laying traps, they're reacting as if I'm being difficult when I'm just doing my job. And my thought is, if they really can't handle, and by can't handle, I mean, it's like they don't really like being pressed for facts from people nominally on their side. How are they going to survive Fox News or, voters who aren't already living on MSNBC? And what's even worse is when I'll ask some basic things like, what is the plan to win over non-Democrats in 26 and 28? What's the plan to motivate non-voters in 26 and 28? They respond with words, right? They don't literally say nothing, but it's kind of these technocratic talking points. Unemployment, we're investing in the future and we've got to meet voters where they are and kitchen table. And none of that really means anything to someone working two jobs and getting crushed by rent. It doesn't make them go, I love that. I'm voting for you. And to someone like me, who is terrified of what Trump's second term already is, those sort of talking points don't connect with voters. They just don't. And maybe the dirty little secret that a lot of people aren't saying out loud is that too many Democrats are still scared to go off script, of giving real answers, of engaging with the public like human beings. Someone who did a great job, this is not to put anybody down, I'm not naming names, or someone who did a great job is Congressman Jimmy Gomez. When he was on, I thought this guy is actually answering my questions. He's acknowledging problems. When he's not sure, he says he's not sure. And my audience connected with it. The emails I got about Jimmy Gomez were so much more positive than what I got for any other Democrat that I've interviewed. The staffers continue to be really risk averse. They want the questions in advance. We never do that, right? They're very anxiously asking, what's David going to talk about? They want control. What we really need is conviction. We need to connect with voters here. Trump is obviously a con man, but he gives his audience something. He gives them a villain to blame. Trump's good at scapegoating people. He gives them a fantasy to believe in and promises, false promises, obviously, but promises that he's going to fix the problems. What we hear a lot from the Democratic Party is, we're not fascists. Great. Okay, that's a good start, but that's not a campaign platform. What exactly is the problem? And what exactly is the way to talk to voters to convince people that vote but are disaffected by the Democratic Party, and non-voters. Because non-voters, if someone could figure out how to motivate non-voters, you would win every election going forward. So I'm not really hearing strategy. I've done now dozens of these interviews. I'm not really hearing strategy I feel good about. If there's continued kind of risk aversion, playing it safe, this overarching demand or desire for control, slogans and nervous staffers, I just think Democrats are going to lose again. They're going to lose in 26 and they're going to lose in 28. And I don't even know if they'll understand why, to be perfectly honest. So this is not about tearing the party down. I've never been a Democrat or a Republican. I vote for who I think is the better candidate, and it's almost always Democrats. I've been clear about that. But this is about telling the truth, not ripping the party apart. There are Democrats who get it. There are Democrats who have a spine, who can connect. I've interviewed many of them. But as a party, the plot has been lost here. And if Democrats don't wake up soon, they're going to lose a lot more than just the next election. And I worry with the direction that things are going, we may lose the country. That's where I'm at. I hope that people aren't going to go, David, are you leaving the left? That's not, I haven't been red pilled or black pilled or cuck pilled or whatever pills the kids are talking about these days. I'm just worried that things are going to continue getting worse. And that's what I don't want. Let me know what you think.